Let's have a quiet, peaceful stroll in the village atmosphere of Arles in the morning when life is just getting started. It's about 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. A couple of the cafés are open, a corner shop is open, but nothing much else is happening. There's a few people on their way to work. The town square is fairly quiet at this hour. And then you can just enjoy the peace and quiet without anybody else in the way. Take a little stroll before breakfast as the town comes to life. Again, being here in November is extra peaceful. When you come in the summertime, naturally there'll be a lot of tourists in the streets any time of day. But if you're up at 7:30, 8 in the morning, any time of the year, you're going to have a nice, quiet, peaceful way to start your day. Place Voltaire is a charming spot to watch the day begin with its little tree-shaded square in the center surrounded by lovely old buildings. It's more of a local place than a tourist spot, even though there are a couple of hotels nearby. So you really feel like more of a resident rather than a visitor when you hang out in Place Voltaire, especially in the morning calm. There are several nice little two-star hotels located around the plaza in this part of town with reasonable rates, including the Gaughin, the Mirador, and the Voltaire. Walk a few hundred yards west to the ancient Roman Baths of Constantine, which you can appreciate from the outside, saving time and money, or pay your admission and go inside if you're a real fan of Roman antiquities. They were built in the 4th century at the peak of the Roman Empire during the time of Constantine, and it was believed to have been part of a much larger Roman palace. Of course, the baths were really important to the ancient Romans as a place not just to get clean, but to socialize. Well, theoretically, you could cover all of Arles' pedestrian zone in about 30 minutes, because the actual length of road that's set aside exclusively for pedestrians is only 1/2 mile. However, there are so many others of these small lanes and little plazas with very little traffic and great charm that are fun to explore that you could keep happily entertained here for a full day or maybe even a couple of days. Primary strategy for sightseeing in Arles is simply strolling up and down the main lanes to catch their different moods during the day and at night. Many buildings in the town center were constructed during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, but have been beautifully maintained and function today as apartments and modern shops. Another little bit of a pedestrian lane, the cat standing guard. More views of that Roman amphitheater. During the Middle Ages, the amphitheater was actually used for housing. It's so quiet, this dog is wondering who's coming down his street. Just standing guard, being friendly. Also, during the Middle Ages, a wall was built around Arles to protect it from attack and provide security, and most of that medieval wall is still intact, just as many of the buildings from that Middle Age period are still standing, as you see here today. The ancient wall encloses the space and it still protects it from undue modernization. And nothing much seems to have happened to disturb these old buildings, so the historic center still looks as it did centuries ago. Well, now we're leaving Arles and we are traveling through the south of France by train. The train station in Arles is very convenient to the village. It's located less than 1/2 mile from the fortified wall of Arles, so probably your hotel is within a 1-mile distance from the train station, which makes it very convenient. You can just walk over here if you're leaving on a day trip to explore the nearby areas, as we've just been doing. Or if you're leaving town, well, you might want a taxi to bring your suitcases with you over to the train station. And it's a simple train station, just 2 tracks and a small reception area. And pretty soon you hop on a train and go. Train is always a very comfortable way to travel. First class is air conditioned, it's really smooth, and you've got this beautiful scenery outside the windows.